the world of MotoGP has been shaken once again by major news from Ducati. A surprising clarification regarding Marc Marquez's tyre incident at the Buriram GP suddenly grabbed attention and immediately sparked heated debate in the paddock. Many are wondering what really happened behind the scenes, especially after the race performance and strategy came in under intense scrutiny. Was this purely a technical issue, or was there something bigger that has now come to light? Let's discuss. The opening round of the 2026 season at the 2026 MotoGP Thailand truly delivered non-stop drama. Held at the Buriram circuit, the first race of the year brought tension worthy of a World Championship decider. From a controversial penalty to an unexpected technical incident, everything unfolded in a single weekend. And once again, the spotlight was on Marc Marquez. After receiving a controversial penalty in the sprint race following an incident with Pedro Acosta, many believed Marquez's drama was over. But in reality, the main race brought an even more painful chapter. Starting from fourth position, Marquez looked convincing early on. As the race reached the middle laps, he began to find his rhythm. The gap to the leading group gradually shrank, and the hopes of fans who had been disappointed started to rise again. However, approaching lap 20, something unusual became noticeable. Marquez's bike appeared less stable through the high-speed corners. At first, it was suspected to be normal tyre pressure drop due to degradation, but the situation quickly worsened. The team signalled a serious issue. Shortly after, it was confirmed that the rear tyre had suffered a puncture. For safety reasons, Marquez decided to pit and retire from the race early. A crushing blow in the season opener. Unwilling to let speculation spiral out of control, Ducati finally issued an official clarification through team manager Davide Tardozzi. According to Tardozzi, the incident likely stemmed from contact at turn 4, which caused damage to the wheel rim. It's very unfortunate. He touched another rider at turn 4 and damaged the rim. I don't remember ever seeing something like this before. You could call it a mistake, but he was really unlucky, Tardozzi said. Ducati also emphasised that after initial checks, no procedural errors were found on the technical side of the team. They have coordinated with technical partners for further analysis, but early indications point to the impact from the contact incident as the main cause. For Marquez, this was clearly an emotional weekend. A penalty in the sprint race followed by a DNF in the main event. Two dramatic setbacks in the opening round are far from an ideal start to a long 2026 season. Nevertheless, many observers believe that a world champion's mentality like Marquez's will not crumble easily. In fact, pressure has often fueled his comebacks. But Tardozzi wasn't the only one to speak out. Ducati course general manager Luigi Dall'Igna also delivered a firm statement that immediately heated up the paddock atmosphere. Dall'Igna stressed that the team found no technical fault with the bike and insisted the incident was purely a consequence of tight racing conditions. We have thoroughly checked the data. There was no structural failure or procedural mistake. This was a racing incident. When you're fighting at the highest level with such close margins, risks like this are always present, Dall'Igna stated. He added that Ducati would not look for a scapegoat over the incident. We are not blaming anyone. But we also do not accept speculation that unfairly targets the team. We know what we're doing, and we will come back stronger. The statement seemed to signal Ducati's desire to close the controversy and shift focus to the next round. The team also confirmed that it has coordinated with technical authorities for further analysis. But so far, no violations or internal procedural errors have been found. Amid the heat of the Marquez drama, another name also stole the spotlight: Toprak Razgatlioglu. His long-awaited debut in the Premier MotoGP class finally became official in Buriram. Arriving as a superbike world champion with a massive reputation, expectations for the Turkish rider were sky high. From the very first free practice session, Toprak showed significant progress, his adaptation to the character of a MotoGP machine, especially in braking and rhythm management, improved rapidly with each session. It's true, he wasn't able to break into the leading group just yet. However, in the main race, Toprak was involved in intense battles within the midfield, going head-to-head with experienced riders. Unfortunately, a few small mistakes and challenging race situations left him finishing outside the points. Yet this is precisely where many observers offered praise. In his post-race interview, Toprak displayed a realistic yet optimistic attitude. "This is an incredible experience for me. MotoGP is very different from Superbike. The pace is more intense, and the small details make a huge difference. I'm not satisfied yet, but I learned a lot this weekend." His comments reflected an awareness that adaptation is never instant. Several MotoGP analysts described Toprak's debut as solid for a rookie. Although the final result didn't bring points, his on-track performance showed clear progress. Lap time data revealed consistent improvement from free practice through to the main race. He not only learned quickly, but also adapted technically to a bike and racing environment that were completely new to him. Braking, long considered his trademark strength during his dominant years in previous championships, remained a key asset. However, the challenges in MotoGP are clearly different. The more sensitive tyre characteristics, far more complex electronics, and the need for precise traction management forced him to make significant adjustments. Even so, he managed to maintain his racing identity without appearing reckless. Some rivals even acknowledged his bravery during corner battles. He still showcased his signature aggressive style on corner entry, but now it looked more controlled and calculated. No longer relying purely on instinct, he began blending it with a more mature strategic approach. That is a strong signal that his adaptation process is heading in the right direction. On paper, without adding points to the standings, the result may seem ordinary, but an important foundation has been laid. Confidence, a deeper understanding of MotoGP race rhythm, and the experience of handling opening round pressure will be valuable assets for the upcoming rounds. Beyond the Marquez drama and Toprak's debut, another fact has made the paddock increasingly cautious. Ducati's overall performance still looks extremely competitive. Several other Ducati riders maintained consistent pace throughout the race. Data showed advantages in acceleration, out of corners, and stability under heavy braking. Two crucial aspects in Buriram. This signals that, as a complete package, Ducati remains one of the main benchmarks on the grid. Some rivals even admitted that despite Marquez's failure to finish, his underlying pace was highly promising. If not for the technical issue, a podium, or even a win, would not have been impossible. In other words, the disappointment in Thailand may not truly reflect Ducati's real strength this season. If the season opener alone has already delivered a controversial penalty that sparked heated debate, along with a heartbreaking DNF caused by technical issues that shattered podium hopes, then just how intense will the rest of the season be? And will Marquez bounce back in the next round and prove that his championship mentality is still burning strong? Share your thoughts below.